Jim from Jim's Holiest of Coleus. I do a little special video today on how I do my farmers market. Basically what I do. It's funny. I have a pickup truck, and I also have a Cadillac XT5. And believe it or not, my Cadillac XT5 with the seats down actually loads more cargo than my pickup truck. So I use my Cadillac, which isn't a bad thing, you know. So anyway, this is the car I use, and this is basically how I load it up. And I'm lucky because the farmers market is down the street from my home. The gentleman that runs it, James Dalton, he's a local business owner in Bayhead, New Jersey. Shout out to him for actually inviting me to have a table at the farmers market. I'm extremely appreciative of the opportunity, and it's a wonderful place to have a farmers market. My son gives me a hand loading up the car. I drive my car up to my greenhouse. I decide the day before what plants are ready to go, and I load it up, and then drive up the street, and we set up the tent, set up the table, put my sign out, as you can see here, and put the Coleus on the tables, and then we arrange it as we go. So behind me today, we're in New Jersey. We're getting a tropical storm, very rainy, no wind. So this is wonderful, wonderful for Coleus. And before I get to my farmers market video, I'm going to show you real quick what I do to protect some of my Coleus plants. Okay, so we're getting a tropical storm here in New Jersey, and I always say when nothing benefits plants more than natural rain. You can water your grass, you can water your plants all day long with municipal water, well water, but there's nothing better than a natural rainstorm. Now this is perfect conditions for Coleus. You got to be careful of wind. If you're forecasting that you're getting a storm and there's a lot of wind, and you have some Coleus plants that are in pots that are larger and so forth, they may break, so you may want to bring them into shelter. Otherwise, steady, light to medium rain is excellent for potted Coleus. As you can see, my Coleus here on my deck are really coming along well. I'm going to run out real quick and get wet. I have to trim, have to do some trimming. This Defiance, there's something wrong with it. I want to pull it out, but it's really, you can see it's really lagging behind. And as I mentioned last week in my other video, this is that one by the Rose of Sharon, and it's doing wonderfully. So I have some rootings here. There's my Lord de Baltimore rootings and so forth. I have my greenhouse closed up to protect it. And here are a couple of nice potted Coleus plants they're outside, they're under my patio table, as you can see. And I just don't want them to get damaged, so we put them under here. They're still getting rain, but they're just protected. So this is optimal weather for Coleus. This rain, humid weather. So if you have a potted Coleus and it's a rainy, humid day or night, and it's not tremendously windy, even if it's an indoor Coleus, and it's, again, if it's a mild, windy, if it's mild and not windy and so forth, particularly if it's an indoor Coleus, now we don't want to ruin them. It's not a bad idea to put them out and give them a shot of natural rain. It really does wonders. You can see over here, here's another. This one's up against my home. So this is really doing doing well. And I have another one that's a little smaller, another Saturn that I put inside my greenhouse because I just didn't have. It was a little lighter. It's a smaller Coleus, and I just put it in my greenhouse. I figured, let me just put these two under here, and that's it. So, but perfect weather for Coleus. and plants in general. This is what makes them really, really grow. Green up very nicely. So this is basically what I do with my Coleus. For those of you who have been following along, of course I love to make videos and help everybody out on how to take care of your Coleus, grow Coleus, every aspect of Coleus, from gathering seeds to planting them and caring for them. But ultimately this is what I do. I take part in the Bayhead, New Jersey farmers market every Thursday from June to August, or July to August. And every Thursday it's a beautiful Jersey Shore town. And this is basically how I set up. We have 2 local farmers that have produce. It's a small, quaint little Jersey Shore town. I set up my tent. And I just display my Coleus. These are all the Coleus that I film and help you guys out on how to grow. And what's nice about these is they really display nicely when they're all together. All the different kaleidoscope of colors, they really display very nicely. And I do pretty well. I do sell out. By the end of the season, I pretty much sell out completely. Here's the Saturns. This is one of the offspring from the mother plant, and some smaller offsprings. And I sell the single pots, the singles, to people who want to just make their own arrangements up. So I usually keep a nice big tray available for people here. And then I have the pots that I create, that we all know, recognize, if you're following along. And I try to keep a nice variety of different size pots. These little ones, for maybe you have an office window and you want a nice colorful Coleus. And this will last all for months and months on end. 2 big, it's larger window boxes, hanging baskets, and the little smaller pots. And of course I have this monster here, the monster again, the monster Saturn. That's a nice big healthy full Coleus. I really don't do much for this anymore. I just make sure I water it and miracle grow. Trim it a little bit, but this is beautiful. This is about as healthy as you're gonna get. And you can see this is the offspring, the smaller ones, and this is a little brighter green. Little different shades, but essentially the same Coleus. There's another offshoot of this Saturn. It's called Saturn's Rings. It looks similar to this. This is actually closer to a Saturn's Rings, and this is more along the lines of a Saturn Coleus. So I set up a nice cool tent. It's a nice beautiful shady spot. And there's some local farmers. Bayhead, New Jersey is it's an older, quaint little village right on the ocean. There's the ocean in the background. As if you're in the Jersey Shore area, we all know what these are. The airplane advertisements. And then of course the famous Muller's Bakery of Bayhead. So if you're in the Jersey Shore area, this is Bridge Avenue, right next to the police department parking lot and the Manasquan Savings Bank. Every Thursday, 1 p.m. to 5, and later on in the summer, if I still have stock left, we'll hear a little later. But it's a nice, cool, beautiful, breezy. It's a hot day today, but nice and cool and breezy here. Nice shady area. So I keep my water tank handy. I make sure that all of these Coleus are well watered before I load up my car. And I have pretty much a nice variety for everybody. So those of you who are following my YouTube channel, maybe you want to get yourself a little small business. It's an idea you can think of. Lots of beautiful, beautiful colors. So thanks for following along. Jim's Holies at Coleus, and we'll talk to you next week. Alright, so it's been a pretty good day for my second opening at the Bayhead Farmers Market. And again, if you're in the New Jersey Shore area, there's locally grown farmers produce here. And it's a fun little market. Did pretty well. Sold a lot of Coleus today. Still have plenty left for next week. It's a very hot day today, but we're lucky. We're a nice shady spot. We got the awning. So this is one of the reasons why I grow the Coleus plants, and I do donate a portion of my sales each week to the USO and Wounded Warriors and so forth. So okay, thanks for watching Jim's Holies at Coleus.